This program is brought to you by FreeKeen.com. FreeKeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. FreeKeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. FreeKeen.com.
Setting yourself free and declaring your independence verbally and actually coming out and saying, I've had it with this coercive government, I'm ready to do something about it, I'm ready to take a firm position in favor of advancing to a voluntary society, peaceful evolution, moving forward without violence into the next great step, the next great plateau for mankind. And I think that what we're doing here tonight is part of that. Sam, can you elaborate a little bit?
Absolutely. You know, I think it's really about acknowledging that man has tried one form of government after another, and it can work. I mean, it works, it functions, society is able to run. But I think we've recognized that it's time we evolve past the need for one group of people to, force their will, force their ideas, force their solutions on everybody else by using coercion and violence.
Absolutely. So we've put together something at the FreeKeen.com forums is where this kind of idea first generated, because I always found that when I was out doing my activism that sometimes the people who were kind of inside the system would say things to me like, well, you're part of our society. When I would perhaps complain about the fact that they steal money from me in order to, to force kids into their government indoctrination camps. If I might complain about that, they would say things like, well, you voted for this. Well, no, I didn't. Well, you're part of our society, and you've got the social contract, and da-da-da-da-da.
Not anymore.
All these imaginary ideas, and no, I'm not part of your society. I don't want to be part of your society. Your society is a violent one, and societies are supposed to be voluntary associations of individuals. If you go and you look at the definition of what society means, it's supposed to be voluntary. So I figured, well, we need to make it so we can answer really to essentially break their viewpoint, to be iconoclastic toward their viewpoint that we're part of their society. When they say something like, well, you're part of our society, we can say, no, because we're going to form our own society. We're going to form the voluntary society, and we're calling it the Shire Society. And eventually it's going to be open to anybody to join. Right now, tonight, the very genesis here of this, it's open to the people that are here at the Porcupine Freedom Festival, who are going to sign our Shire Society Declaration. Tell us more about that.
You mentioned sort of rejecting the idea of using violence, and I think that's one aspect of it, and the other part is really understanding that it's a state of mind that's going to get us to evolve past where we are today. It's really starting to make personal choices that we're comfortable with, that choose voluntary interactions over government force or government solutions. And we've come up with some words. I think we're going to read those here in a minute, to just sort of explicitly state that as simply and as clearly as we can, in a way that just says voluntary interaction is the way to go. It's half a page. Anybody, I think, can read this, can understand
Easy to understand.
It's not geographically bound. It's just something that a personal choice that people make, and once they do, they basically, by signing, they're affirming their commitment to a voluntary society, to work towards that, to move towards that, to stay in that state of mind.
Absolutely. It doesn't mean jumping 100% in the way and, going and becoming a civilly disobedient non-cooperative and putting your house on the line and, stopping paying property taxes.
Burn all your papers. No,
it doesn't mean doing that. It means that you've taken the mental step that's, and you're now declaring that you are a free person and that you're going to do everything you can within your life to live as free as you possibly can. I think that's what this means.
I think so.
And it also gives us our own piece of paper with signatures on it. Finally, now we'll have our own piece of paper here in minutes that we'll be able to point to and say, aha, see? Ours is as legitimate as yours, and we aren't violent either.
Wait, don't we have to have everyone here raise their hand and vote, so we had like a bunch of people that voted for this?
Well, there's no majority required here. It's a voluntary society, so anybody that reads this document, and as you say, we're going to read it on the air here shortly, and then there are pens here, and we've got some very nice calligraphy that's been done, and it's written up on big pieces of paper, and Taryn Lupo is here from LCLreport.com. He's shooting video of this, so I'm sure that video will be up. What do you say, Taryn, within a few weeks it's going to be up on your site?
About 3 days.
Sooner than that, 3 days, he says, so keep an eye out for that. So coming up here, we're going to actually read the Shire Society Declaration. People will begin signing it. The artist, the man who's done the actual work here, and he's volunteered to do this, by the way. This is beautiful. I mean, the audience can see this. This is a beautiful document that he's put together. He's already got his signature on it, so his is the first. And so we're going to begin this process here in just a few moments. Our number is 800-259-9231. That is the SACL CAI toll-free line. Mark, you're sitting quietly here absorbing this.
Well, you know, I kind of look at it all as kind of silly, right? Like, so you sign a piece of paper that says...
Do you think they felt the same way in 1777?
And that's where I'm coming up with. Like, this is an audacious piece of paper. It says things like, you know, we do not recognize government's control over ourselves or anything like that. I don't know. You're going to read it here shortly. I read it earlier today. But it was an audacious piece of paper when they signed the Declaration of Independence too. So you know, I'm torn basically. I'm somewhere between silly and you know, awe.
Now, Mark, is it silly because it doesn't actually it isn't backed up by some army that's ready to attack the existing government that's in place?
It's a system that worked at one point, right?
Well, that's not the way we're going to evolve and pass the need to
I don't disagree with that.
to solve problems.
Right, if we want to get away from a violent society, which is where we're at today, then we have to embrace peace for ourselves and enact peace in our lives. And that way, because if you want to get to a peaceful society, you can't get there through violence. Overthrowing another gang of criminals is not going to get us any closer to peace. It will just inevitably get us another gang of criminals lording over our lives here. So, with that in mind, we don't have enough time to read it in this segment of the program. Coming up, we're going to share that. Sam, thank you for sitting in here. I hope that you'll be one of the first to put your signatures on the document. I know you've got to go down to do some film work here.
I'll go do that right now.
At Porcfest. Sam, going to be one of the initial signers here of the Shire Society Declaration. You've already read it, so you're comfortable with it. We're going to read it for the rest of you here in the audience, and those of you out there. 1-800-259-9231.
Sorry, folks.
Now you'll know it's the original.
Mark, thank you. Thanks for coming on, dude.
What's up?
Ian, go ahead.
Come on in, Ian.
See what I did to it? They just don't make hemp paper like they used to. Ryan, want to step in? Is it hemp paper? It is hemp paper. Mark, jump in and sign it if you like.
I would like to suggest the point that one should sign, or at least that's what I would do. Signing with the name which I plan to have on my Shire identification card.
What are these?
You ripped it.
Careful with the pins, guys. I was
Making fun of Sam. I'll try to.
Oh, good.
Be careful with the paper, folks. It's kind of fragile.
It's very yeah.
Can I do like a John Deere? Oh, look at him. We have big old
I beat you to it.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the big.
Jump in there. Come on.
Great. This is a great idea.
Feel freer?
Ian, you're in here?
Yeah, now that it's on paper, right?
You signed?
Oh, it's been ripped already. Damn. In there, Kurt.
All right, guys, whoever else, open it up. Just sort of, I guess, form a line or whatever you guys want to do.
If you guys sign, go ahead and take a button to commemorate your sign. Keep it with you.
And once this, thanks everybody.
Thank you guys. Enjoy your freedom.
Signs that we've got something to commemorate as we walk around the rest of the
I'm gonna put that there.
Make sure you grab
You guys want to donate to the artist? Right there. It's all for free.